slap. Has turns pale after Charles reveals Queen death certificate insults him in front of the press. The Queen died at Balmoral of old age, it was revealed yesterday, the first time a monarch's death certificate is believed to have been made public. But the document also raises intriguing questions after details on it confirmed that Prince Harry was not informed of his grandmother's death for more than 3 hours. Only her 2 eldest children, King Charles and his sister, Princess Anne, were with their mother when she died at 3:10 p.m. on September 8. Prince Edward and his wife, Sophie, as well as Prince Andrew and Prince William, were all on a plane heading for Scotland at the time and are believed to have been informed mid-air. Prince Harry, meanwhile, had not even made it to an airport amid apparent confusion over whether he should travel up to Aberdeenshire with his wife Meghan. He finally got a private jet from Luton at 5:35 p.m., landing at Aberdeen at 6:47 p.m. It has already been confirmed by palace sources that his father only managed to contact his son mid-air at 6:25 p.m., just 5 minutes before the news the world had been dreading was officially announced. Charles had insisted all afternoon on telling his youngest son personally before any official statement was released by Buckingham Palace. He had already rung both Harry and his brother, William, earlier in the day to tell them to get up to Scotland as quickly as possible because their grandmother was rapidly fading. He then returned to the Queen's bedside. But that leaves a crucial 2 hours and 25 minutes between the Queen dying and Harry taking to the air, when it appears there was no communication between the Prince and his family. In contrast, the Prime Minister, Liz Truss, was informed at 4:30 p.m. Palace officials declined to comment last night, while other royal sources were unable to explain the discrepancy. But insiders stressed that the old-fashioned king does not have a mobile phone and his diary is such that calls between himself and his family normally have to be scheduled in. Family members have to resort to calling staff or even one of his police bodyguards to try to get an urgent message to him. Others said it was likely the king wanted to tell his son personally, but with the clock ticking for the release of an official announcement, simply ran out of time. Sources with intimate knowledge of Operation London Bridge, the plan to manage the aftermath of Queen's death, also stressed that as well as the dealing with the inevitable grief of the situation, there would have been a massive administration to cope with. I'm sure, as with everything, there is a meticulous plan on paper, but then the chaos of actual life happens amid the trauma of their personal grief, said one. Another source explained that few people in the family were regularly in touch with Harry anymore and that he could also be incredibly hard to reach. Whatever the truth, it highlights the complexity of the relationship between the royal family and Harry, which saw him leave Balmoral on the first possible flight out of Aberdeen the morning after his grandmother died. He remained in the UK until the day after the funeral, and was seen publicly at a walkabout at Windsor with his brother and their wives, and at the funeral itself. He was also seen at the vigil. The possibility of behind-the-scenes family ructions have already been raised after it emerged that the plane containing Edward, Andrew and William up to Scotland was delayed by an hour. It had been scheduled for 1:30 p.m. but did not take off until 2:39 p.m. Just before 2 p.m. that day, a spokesman for the Sussexes announced that both Harry and Meghan would be travelling to Scotland together. This came as a surprise to many, as only close family members would be expected to be present, aside from the Countess of Wessex and Princess Anne's husband Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, to whom the Queen was close. Kate, the then Duchess of Cambridge, decided to stay at Windsor with her and William's 3 children. Half an hour after their initial announcement, a spokesman for the Sussexes issued a correction, saying that only Harry intended to travel. The discrepancy was later explained away as a mistake. Harry's team hurriedly chartered a private jet, at an estimated cost of £30,000, from Luton. It was later claimed by The Sun that Harry missed the RAF flight due to a row over Meghan after his father told him it was not appropriate to bring her. It has also been claimed that, although Charles did try to call his son to tell him that his grandmother had died, the phone call did not actually go through. It is said that, although Harry knew his father was trying to speak to him, the prince actually read a breaking news announcement online before they could work the technology to speak. The Queen's death certificate was finally released. The Scottish Registrar General, Paul Lowe, exactly 3 weeks to the day after she died. By law it should be registered within 8 days. The certificate records that Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor, a widow, died at Balmoral Castle in Ballater, Aberdeenshire, at the age of 96. The cause of death, old age, is the same as that given for Prince Philip in April 2021. In Scotland, it should not be recorded as a sole cause, although there are exceptions, including the certifying doctor having personally cared for the deceased over a long period and observing a gradual decline.